Charles, any networking book would you recommend for cryptocurrency? I assume you're referring to computer networking. And unfortunately, there's no canonical text for this area. It's a very, very underpublished and under-resourced area. We published a paper called The General Scuttlebutt that talked about peer-to-peer networking and cryptocurrencies. And the problem is the design of peer-to-peer networks in general. It's one of those things that is understood in engineering lore. And there are certainly protocols that emphasize this, like Kademlia, for example. But in practice, what's happened in the cryptocurrency space is those protocols are inadequate for the types of attacks and the needs of sophisticated consensus systems like proof of stake. So what's occurred is all this protective Sentinel code is put on, and all these protocols are put on to actually show you how to run a network like that. And you don't actually see that reflected in a vanilla networking protocol. So, for example, if you look at the design of libp2p and you actually look at the implementations of these things or any of these other peer-to-peer protocols that have been built or designed for cryptocurrencies, you'll notice a lot of things are there that are non-trivial and not necessarily fully understandable. So this is an area that desperately needs a book to be written about it. And unfortunately, there is none. So I'd just recommend looking at the peer-to-peer papers that have been published recently that talk about the design of a peer-to-peer stack. Davis Shee has one, and then we wrote one as well. And there's a few others floating around. But if you really, really, really want to understand these things, then probably good to dissect functioning cryptocurrency and look at the network stacks. In particular, look at Bitcoin's network stack as a reference point, and then any of the proof of stake protocols that are third generation, like Polkadot or Cardano. Probably a good idea to dissect their network stacks, because you'll notice there's a lot more to ours than Bitcoin's because proof of stake requires it. And I wish there was a book I could refer you to. I'm just not aware of one.